Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Style Esports. I am Ravishing Ravis, the most ravishing man of the internet, joined by the one and only True Light, and we're in for the banger of a best of three here today. We have the Black Vex versus Fairytail Guild, so the power of darkness and both light going in on today was shown in action. So it is only after I do have the only True Light with me today.
Thanks for the warm welcome as always, Rav. Like you said, it's Black Vex versus the Fairytail Guild. Void Group, Black Vex, they were here last season. Fairytail Guild, they're the new kids on the block, so to speak, and we are already into that first game's champion select. Getting through the ban so far, you see Black Vex right here banning away Master Yi and Diana. Meanwhile, the Fairytail Guild, I don't blame them for banning Yone. It's a very tilting champion to play against, especially when you start falling behind.
Yeah, not the most fun of times to be able to play against. It's like it's just, it's one of those champions who has a lot of interactability and really good outplay potential. Of course, because once he's able to go ahead and press R, you're like, wow, I can go ahead and get around this, and I'm gonna be fine. Yeah, no, you're not.
Yeah, and so for their second ban, the Fairytail Guild, they ban away another really hard tilting champion for a lot of people, Blitzcrank. It's just a pick that offers so much. Like, it's not truly engage as much as it's, I guess you could say, pick potential, but it's also really, really annoying to just get hooked from over 1,000 units away. And I think that if they're not super confident in their ability to play against it, or perhaps they like to play squishier compositions, Blitzcrank is a reasonable ban. And okay, so that is an Olaf ban, which is the blue rectangle right there that Black Vex surrounded their banning phase out. So rather solid, I think, at least as far as Olaf is concerned. Just has a very, very high level and degree of power in the early to mid game, but definitely falls off towards the late game, and it's really annoying to play that against an Olaf early mid.
Now the Artie bans too also comes in for the side of Fairytail Guild as well. Now, Artie, I've seen more and more pop into the meta, especially considering the changes have come through. She's got a lot more movement speed. Her healing's gotten a lot better though. But the Caitlyn B1 will be locked in for Black Vex. Like, Caitlyn is just so good in the meta. She's still definitely one of the strong. She's probably is the strongest AD just in general in the meta currently. Like, she's has so much priority, especially when paired in the AP type heavy CC support with her too. She can put out just disgusting amounts of damage.
Oh yeah, I think you pair Caitlyn with the classical Morgana, or you can pair it with something like, let's say, Lux. It's very easy setup for the Yordle Snap Trap into just so much damage, especially as the game goes on. And you compile that with the fact that Caitlyn players don't really care about too much attack speed nowadays. They go for Storm Razor, they go for IE, they just try to stack the raw AD and burst down their opponents. The mid-game dip that Caitlyn used to have isn't quite as noticeable with that build. But meanwhile, the Fairytail Guild, they respond with Twisted Fate Leona. I think that's really, really interesting because that's like a blind TF. And it's also, blind picking your support. I think it would be a little bit better to just pick your AD as one of those and potentially reflect pick otherwise.
It really essentially is, because that you are going to go ahead and go into the Caitlyn, and it is a Nautilus picked up too. I guess Leona. Nautilus is a pretty common. I've seen lane, well, not a lane counter, but a lane pick. I guess Leona too, because you can go ahead and dissuade a lot of the engages she does have, do your passive, and the final lock-in will be the Shen, which will probably go to the top lane unless Black Vex has acquired Broken Blade. Then we'll probably see in Shen jungle, which would be a lot of fun.
You mean Spica?
What did I say? Yeah, I know.
I meant what I said too, like. Okay. But anyway, wow, that's quite the response. Locking in Tryndamere for criticals, likely up in that top lane, although I do believe you could see a Tryndamere jungle in theory. Okay, wait, so the Twisted Fate pick was supposed to be Cho'Gath. That's a little bit late considering how long after that was picked. Definitely unfortunate, I guess. Otherwise,
okay. I mean, so what we're seeing that essentially, so if it's the Cho'Gath, then it could either, of course, still be
Yeah, that can
the
be fun.
Cho'Gath mid, the Cho'Gath jungle, as well.
Or it could be Cho'Gath top. Who knows?
It could be Cho'Gath top, Trinity jungle as well. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're actually like, this
Yeah.
is there's
Fairytail Guild's actually going for a lot more flexibility than we were giving credit for.
yeah, there's a ton of ambiguity in general.
We had already locked in. I'm just trying to read like what is trying to be explained here.
Yeah, so
But-
what we're seeing too is that due to the confusion of that of it being Cho'Gath, they went ahead and locked in TF
Oh,
due to the
gosh.
response to it, which is going to be really interesting to go ahead and play into. Would also be told that that was an Ash ban as well for the side of Black Vex, along with the final ban, which is just not coming through at all here because you know what Pro Draft is an infallible tool. Truly.
Well, okay. Looks like they made it work. Rammus ban. There it is. That's the final one. But yeah, so I guess TF is supposed to be Cho'Gath, like we mentioned. Fairytail Guild is now on their first pick for their final pick phase here, or second pick phase, so to speak. Gonna be Jhin. I don't think Jhin is a champion that necessarily counters Caitlyn. Also, Jhin Leona versus Caitlyn Nautilus, I do feel like is still way more biased towards Caitlyn Nautilus.
Oh, very, very easily. I think Jhin can go ahead and gain a little bit of push priority if you go ahead and play the lane well too, especially with how you use your bouncy grenade and also your curtain call. Like, sorry, not a curtain call. The Jin's
Deadly
W too.
Flourish.
Yeah, Deadly Flourish. Thank you, truly. See, this is what you're the color caster. It's Deadly Flourish in general is a fantastic ability in general, but that's, in my opinion, a lot of where the usability and viability of Jhin starts and ends.
Wait,
as is the Galio and
Olaf was banned.
Olaf was banned there. Okay,
I'm
so
confused.
clearly there is a little bit of confusion here back and forth between two teams, but I am sure once you go ahead and actually get into the actual champion select, we should be fine because probably that's probably not an Olaf. It's very clearly something else. So
hopefully.
You know what?
Let's hope for that.
So you know what? Truly, let's just pretend that this draft never happened, and let's pretend this draft never happened, and we're going into the Champions League blind. Man, I sure do hope Black Vex just like are able to get us a good bans here, as it is the Master Yi yet again. Okay, interesting. so maybe this is how to make up for it. Considering they didn't know it was a Cho'Gath, so what they do is that they decide.
Yeah, it looks like they're just gonna run through it here. I agree with you. Well, it's because Pro Draft is just such a fantastic, lovely tool. I mean, I appreciate that it exists, but definitely not the preferred. Like, if the League of Legends client actually worked properly, I think it would be a lot better.
Yeah, if League of Legends, was just a omniscient presence in general for everything that it does, would be fine.
Yeah, but otherwise we will see what comes through here. As you can see, Black Vex, I do believe that all of their picks that they made were totally legitimate. So that means their composition is going to be Shen, Hecarim, Galio, Nautilus, Caitlyn. I gotta say that's a very, very thick composition in terms of like the front line, right? With Nautilus, Shen, Galio, none of them are. Now, Shen and Galio can do surprising amounts of damage, especially when you don't pay attention to what they can do. But really, they are going to be just either following up on engage or engaging themselves. Meanwhile, you have Hecarim, who can look for backline assassination onto targets like a Twisted Fate or a Jhin. But otherwise, it's just Caitlyn that is going to be the main source of DPS in fights for Black Vex. So I think they have to work really, really hard on keeping the Caitlyn safe and keeping the Caitlyn alive, especially into things like Tryndamere or Leona or TF get using Destiny to look for a gold card flank. They have to be very, very cognizant of keeping the Caitlyn safe, and I think Galio is a very good tool for that. And so is Shen. I think perhaps the only thing they lack is wave clear.
Now, truly, I do want to go ahead and bring your attention to something that we didn't really address yet. So it is not the Olaf, and you were speaking about keeping Caitlyn alive. It might be a little bit hard as we have a Kayn here, which is I haven't seen a Kayn in Organized League of Legends in quite some time, in my opinion. Mainly because Kayn is bad. Like it's.
I mean, you're calling it like you see it, man.
Like it's just like look, if you like objectively, let's actually go ahead and address it. Look, Kayn cannot do much until he goes in and gets his form. Okay. True or false?
No, I agree with you on that.
Okay, all right. Point number two is real quick. So they've consistently nerfed his best form, that being Rust. True or false? To a point where he's now just weak.
It's true. I feel like they have tried to push Blue Kayn for a fair bit, either by nerfing Frost or buffing Blue.
And final point number 3, Blue Kayn right now is not nearly viable, or I find really it offers enough to be a confident pick in the jungle.
I'm gonna tell you right now that with the composition that BlackVex has, going Blue Kayn is going to be very, very, very hard for what is drafted here.
Exactly.
It's 4 melee champions, right? Now it's not just 4 melee champions, it's 4 tank melee, like tanky slash bruisery if you're thinking about Shen, Galio, and Hecarim, but they are going to be very, very tank oriented, high health, right?
Yes.
So that's gonna be theoretically a field day for someone like a Red Kayn if Brendo knows how to pilot it properly, right? Because
that is true, yeah.
Because at that point, Kayn is going to have so much access to healing, not just through the abilities, but also through Kayn's ultimate, or I guess Rost's ultimate, such as it is, and can be a complete menace and very, very difficult to kill without access to grievous wounds. But otherwise, you still have other tools that can get onto the Caitlyn, like the Leona, like the Tryndamere. I think it's a question of scaling to a certain degree for the Fairytail guild. And also staying alive versus a mid-game Hecarim. That champion's really, really annoying.
Yeah, that's gonna be absolutely huge too, because if a Shady Lava manages to get ahead, which, like, I imagine he will, because early Hecarim will definitely go ahead and have more of a presence than early Kayn. Really, with the way I see it, it's like he's gonna absolutely be able to go ahead and tear away on the composition of the side of Fairytail guild, though. But honestly, all of that remains to be seen as you load up onto Summoner's Rift. You do not want to go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Style Esports. Welcome back yet again, mi amigos y mi amigas who style Esports. I'm Rapture Travis, joined by the one and only True Light. And we're in the game number 1 for the Fairytail Guild versus Black Vex for the Void Group in this best of 3. True Light, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty great, Rav. Thank you. Now, getting onto the Rift here for this first game, you can see Black Vex out here on the blue side, while the Fairytail Guild is on the red. Looks like a non-standard 5-point, really more of a 4-point, considering where the members are positioned. And everything being considered, I don't see anything shocking in terms of rune setup. Okay, wait, never mind. You do see that Blackerfish on the Galio opted to go for the way more damage-oriented Electrocute. And then on the other side of things, Pismorizo guy. Okay, there we go. Pismorizo guy did opt for Arcane Comet as opposed to what I think you typically see in coordinated play for TF, which is a Summoner Spellbook. But otherwise, nothing terribly shocking, I think.
Yeah, nothing really jumps at me so far with what I'm saying. I think with also the tournament build, you could either go free footwork or also the lethal tempo, depending on how aggressive of a place that you want to go ahead and play in the lane. Like, you know, free footwork, depending. So if you want to go ahead and go for a bit more of the early damage, right, and just get a bit more sustain, and with lethal tempo, criticals is going to be looking to go ahead and run into Mephisto as soon as possible.
Yeah, like you said, with the lethal tempo, with the ignite, Critical's definitely looking to be playing the lane very aggressively against the Shen here. But one thing that I think that Criticals should definitely be very cognizant of, laning versus a Shen as Tryndamere. Shen's W, Spirit's Refuge, allows you to block auto attacks. And what's Tryndamere's main source of damage? Well, it's auto attacking, as we see a very extended trade going here. Ooh.
Yeah, level 1 already. Mephisto hitting level 2, immediately getting aggressive onto him too as well. Yeah, I can agree more there as nice hook on the bot lane. I can't pause it for mom. Has to go ahead and walk away, but both taking a huge chunk of damage so far. And that right there is Caitlyn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, Knights of Umbar Knight of Umbar following up very well on Yesticle's dredge line going forward there, immediately follows up with a trap, but re-engage from this bottom lane as Kane here.
Invited out, knocked up, and first blood to Brendo. Proved me wrong almost immediately as Yesticles is in trouble.
Woo! Double kill for that Kane, baby. Woo!
But they all went on to Brendo. I would have loved it if they went onto the Jhin, though, too late.
Definitely would like to see it on Jhin, but it's not the end of the world to put it onto Kayn. Because Kayn, when he gets ahead, is very, very difficult to kill, especially Red Kayn. So, don't mind the fact that the gold goes onto Brendo, especially seeing that Kayn be active, right? We were thinking that Shady Llama was going to be the one out on the Rift, being more proactive on this Hecarim pick, but the jungler that gets off the first gank is actually the Kayn, gets a double kill for his troubles. They only lose the Ignite from... I'm going to keep butchering this. Pismorizo. Ooh, nice trade in the mid lane. But otherwise, it was just the heal from Knight of Umbar. I think it's actually very good on discipline overall, just to not burn the flash because of like, pure instinct. Otherwise, though, I don't... Gosh, that's so aggressive. These two teams are so aggressive with each other.
Yeah, they really want to go ahead and fight for this lane dominance too, but we do see Shady Llama there up on the top side, trying to look for an initial pick and all that. But going back to the Stunner that we were talking to, right? No, as an avid top laner and also an avid champ player, going into a Tryndamere, you're going to be perfectly fine as if you want to play a bit more aggressive too, going for these early trades and farming up. Once Mephisto goes ahead against Bramblevest and Tiamat, he'll be able to honestly easy trade out with criticals depending on jungle support as well. Like, he should have a free time on it, because look at that. Already getting super aggressive, takes tons of damage, and criticals can barely farm.
Yeah, I mean, I really love seeing what Mephisto is actually doing here in this top lane. As you said, he's playing aggressively, he's playing forward, but you can also see he hits the minions, so he keeps his grasp of the Undying proc available, but bot lane, there's a dredge line.
Yeah, almost immediately, though, you see the Jhin takes a lot of damage. Deadly Flourish out, stun up, but Knights of Armor is a little bit far away. Can't completely commit to it either. But ooh, that was a nice auto onto him.
Yeah, definitely. I can also see up there in top lane Brendo finally coming in for this gank that he was seeing in the bush for so long about. I do think they have to force, they might try to force Mephisto's flash at the very least here. Oh!
Yeah, he gets a double taunt, goes in though. I'm not sure about that. He could have used
Well,
that to taunt, just go ahead and run away.
that was definitely a little bit of like absolute like misplay, I think, on Mephisto's part. It's great that he's able to land the double taunt, right? But it's
Yeah.
not like there is an aftershock that's really worth being procced. The other thing is, if you just wait for Tryndamere to spin on you, or if you wait for Kayn to look a little bit forward, you can get the taunt off anyway while still dashing away.
Yeah.
So a bit of a gaff on Mephisto's part here, but he immediately TPs back to lane, gets aggressive once again. And on the other side of of things, it was 2 summoners burned for 3. If you think about it, you can see Criticals doesn't have anything available mid lane. Oh man!
Oh,
Woo! Blackerfish just completely punishes Pismoriso guy. Just Justice Punch into the slam from the Galio passive into the taunt for the kill. There was nothing he could have done other than flash the punch immediately.
Yeah, that was well done by him. And with that, so even though bot lane was a little bit behind, that League is in a priority over the mid lane as well. And that's first Drake. Also going over to Shady Llama, who I would say we haven't seen much of just yet.
No, you have not. And you can see he's actually gotten the he's working towards the Triforce with the Sheen right there. Doesn't have boots, although he did get Sweeper, which I do see a number of junglers not get on their first back, so that's nice to see. But otherwise, Mephisto, even though he got that back off, you can see he didn't opt for the Bramble Vest or Tiamat, instead going towards the Sunfire Cape, which I think is, still fine overall, considering he's just really good, strong against the Tryndamere for now. Otherwise, you can see the high degree of farming that Shady Llama has been getting off as opposed to looking for ganks has awarded him a very slight CS lead of roughly 1 camp. And that's Shen at work again right there. And otherwise, yeah, but mid lane, you also see it, I think every single lane for Black Vex is working out really well, but action in the bot lane.
It is nice. The Rubber goes against Ignited, though, has to get out with a high caliber net. But yes, Echo has not stopped fighting. Locks down Pesmerizo, but nothing to be had at just yet. But we see Cade is pathing down, though. But so is Galio. Brendo goes. Yeah, they see it. Nice lockout calling Fiesta goes. Oh, but he goes ahead, locks the Kayn. Oh, the shutdown with the slam comes in for the Galio. That's a double kill for him as well. He's exhausted too, and that is a dead Jhin. All that matters is that who's gonna go ahead to go to 2, ace the hole out. There it is. That's the Bombard gets his first kill.
Yeah, and you can see there that Pismoriso guy did pop Destiny, looking for something in the top lane, gonna land that gold card now onto Shady Llama. But the Hecarim is fine. Just to break down what happens there in that bottom lane gank, though, and I think that really what happens here is a combination of the fact that Blackfish top.
Criticals is dead, but saves his ult. Good on by him. Really good control as well.
Yeah. So what happened in that fight is I think Blackerfish decides to go down bot lane, and Peace Moriso guy doesn't have full vision on him, so he guesses without using Destiny first, walks towards the top lane, and eventually you do see the Galio cast the hero's entrance onto Yesticles, and there's the punish. And they get just 3 easy kills, so to speak. And oh man, Brendo taking so much damage from this Shen.
Yeah, no one can fight him right now at all, as we're seeing that Mephisto is not only a TSM fan, but it also knows how to play Shen as well.
You a TSM fan too?
I am a TSM fan, indeed.
Yeah, there we go.
It's
actually ravishing Ravish playing the Shen here.
It is, yeah, because not only am I a TSM fan, I'm also a top laner and a Shen player.
Yeah, there you go.
I am Mephisto. You got me, man.
Yeah, I see you, Rav. But anyway, getting back to the game, Blackerfish here in the mid lane. As you can see, every single lane, really every single member of Black Vex at a pretty substantial CS lead. Mid lane, you see 72 on Blackerfish to Peace Moriso guys, 29 up in the top lane. Mephisto almost 70 to 42 from criticals, and in the bottom lane, the difference of 21 in the favor of Knights of Umber versus I can't use P4. Gosh, it's so, and yeah, and you can see Mephisto does have that Bramble Vest completed, and now it's just that much harder for critical to play against the Shen.
Yeah, it most definitely is here. As I do apologize for the mispronunciation of the Galio. It is Blacker Flash, not Finish.
Okay, that is my bad. I have not been doing that properly. Whoops.
Hey, no worries.
It does happen. Anyhow, thank you for that correction, by the way. And
hey, no worries.
Yeah, so Blacker Flash, he's doing very well for himself. You can already see does have the Hextech Proto Bell completed. And yeah, just really, really well positioned. I don't think there's very much that Peace Moriso guy can do against him, and Criticals is not having a good time.
No,
like, this is just about the worst time you can have.
Nah, Criticals does not get to play League of Legends for quite some time.
Ooh, Destiny pop though.
Rando already rust as well as they go in, lockdown out of the TF, but immediate dive onto Knights of Umbar means that there's no support coming in. Kalen, but
Galio?
here's a 3-in-1. Galio just supposed to with the taunt.
The taunt!
On to 3 though, and the onslaught of shadows will send Ross to the death realm as Jin hops away just barely. The dive goes horribly wrong here for Fairytail.
Well, I mean, it wasn't quite a dive. It wasn't under a tower, but you know, I don't like. I think the play doesn't start off poorly for the Fairytail guild, right? Brendo goes in already on the Kayn, knows he has that ability to engage, knows he has the ability to skirmish against these tankier members, in theory, of Blackbacks. But also, you started off with what we were hoping for, right? Peace Moriso guy goes in with Destiny, lands gold card onto Knight of Umber, and then there's already the immediate follow-up from Peace Moriso on this Leona. The problem is that once they burn everything to kill Knight of Umber, they need to leave. They need to leave immediately, because you had the Stand United come in, you had the Heroes entrance, and then to top it all off, Onslaught of Shadows to make sure the positive play turns into a negative one. A very good punish on the part of Blackbacks.
Yeah, we're really well done by them, but you were seeing about how they needed to leave. We saw that Galio did not let that happen. He immediately came in and said, no. I want to get on some of this too. And you see right now as well, he is 4-0-3, already has a proto belt. This is this guy's gonna go ahead and scale up beautifully as they're on the Rift Herald.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, they are on that Rift Herald. It's gonna be 13-minute Herald. And yeah, and there's nothing that Brendo can do. It's like, okay, I see them on it, I'm leaving. I can't, there's no chance for a contest. I think the best thing you could have hoped for is to surprise them with a smite and try to just deny it rather than grab it. But he wasn't there early, or I guess at the right time, and couldn't look for the steal, ducks away immediately, and now the Rift Herald is in the pocket of Blackbacks.
Yeah, and with that too, that should go ahead and help them to open up the map a lot more, because as of right now,
I don't think they're going to get plates on this.
No, likely not. Though they should go ahead and chunk it down to about half, honestly. But
ooh,
I would have wanted them to summon it like just a little bit later. Ooh, actually, wow.
No, they popped it because they wanted to get plates, but they popped it 3 seconds late, so it didn't get plates. It dies, doesn't even get tower. So bit of a misplay in terms of timing, but just overall very unfortunate. Ooh, there's the gold card.
That's Knights of Umbar that takes a huge chunk of damage, and that's a dead Peace Moriso guy. See you later, card player.
Okay, that's a pretty good line. I like that, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, and okay, so this is theoretically what TF should be good at, right? Should be able to go to another lane, to a side lane, look for a punish, and start getting those lanes ahead, or be able to equalize the deficit. The problem is that he ports into the top lane, or no, he didn't port into the top lane. Walked into the top lane, didn't realize that Shady Llama is still hanging around. Lands gold card on Caitlyn, and then Hecarim shows up and like, what are you doing here? and then immediately punishes him. Burns the Flash as well. So now Peace Mariso guy going further into that hole as Blacker Flash starting to push this tower down, getting very low already.
Yeah, should be able to go ahead and get it just fine. As you see, pretty much a 3-man dive coming in up onto the mid side, trying to go into Galio, but they can't find a decent engage, and he just walks out.
Did you realize that when Tryndamere does the mocking taunt, there's a chicken icon
Yeah, you
over the
know
head?
that? Yeah,
Yeah, no, but like Blacker Flash is on the chicken Galio skin. Ooh,
as Bots go and hold the last of Nexus, Umber
Wait,
has to
he's
use
alive?
the flash and the heal, but the Destiny is live. Oh,
Oh.
no! That fourth shot from Jin is a bit too good.
yeah, I mean, you know, they were committing for the play to begin with, and you can actually see that Peace Mariso guy used Destiny to go up top. They weren't able to get anything meaningful done in the top lane, and now there is the
Yeah,
punish once again in the bottom lane.
Yeah, completely. So here, both Shen and Galio go to commit the ultimates along with the Hecarim as well. They manage to go and get 2 kills out of it, make that 2, I said. But we're not going to get any more as Shen's going to go ahead and take me back on top side, so Criticals can't get any more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Criticals is really well positioned to take the tower at that point. You know, he doesn't have any sort of wave clear available on this Tryndamere other than, you know, spinning slash right there. Ooh, doesn't land the mocking taunt. Oh
That's
gosh.
unfortunate as this is a death here. This is it. Bye.
This is very difficult. Although Mephisto is getting hit up pretty hard right now, and the TF or sorry, the Tryndamere ultimate's still available. Oof. Can't get anything done though.
Yeah.
Although he does get lane priority finally.
Yeah, Flash for Flash though, we went ahead and committed, but with Criticals lacking the Tryndamere ultimate, if Mephisto does go ahead and get aggressive, he could actually kill the Tryndamere.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I think okay, I was gonna say.
One more auto.
There's no flash though. There's no taunt. There's no taunt either. I think Criticals is going to be able to stay alive. I was going to say is that in order for Criticals to hope to win the 1v1, he actually needs to use like mocking taunt right before going in, rather than as some sort of deterrent. Or he needs to call Brendo up. But you know, Brendo showing himself there on the top side means that Shady Llama and the rest of his team are able to get that. Now, a third Drake for themselves. They go up to soul points at 17 minutes. And hey, something that's great on Hecarim is Cloud Soul. It's absolutely wonderful for Hecarim. But, oh no.
Oh,
wait, he saw them on the sweep? Oh gosh.
He still went ahead and went in though, but a Flash coming out of Blacker Flash though. He might be dead here as
dodges the Caitlyn.
Use the ult to dodge Ace in the hole. That was huge. But he still
Whoa,
got the W. Wow. Oh my god, Brando's completely outplaying so many of this.
He's waiting for his W to come back up.
Shady Llama gets
oh my goodness, double
kill. Oh my god, this is a madman at play here on the game. That's insane.
Oh
here.
no.
Dodge is over.
Okay, I think that's it.
Up.
Oh, the stun landed.
Oh.
Man.
Wow.
Brendo doing some just game things right there. Dodging the Caitlyn ultimate with Umbral. Wait, is his ultimate Umbral Trespass? Yeah, it is. Okay. Dodges the Caitlyn ace in the hole with Umbral Trespass. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this fight in top lane is just not going Critical's way. Ooh. Okay, if that taunt landed, I think he might have. No, he still has ulti available actually.
He definitely would have been able to actually, but yeah, as you said, he does have Undying Rage, but he cannot he cannot turn on Undying Rage if he's taunted. So it definitely would have been a kill though.
You can cast Tryndamere ult while CC'd.
Can you?
Yeah.
Fascinating. I did not know.
It's one of the most frustrating parts about playing against Tryndamere.
Wow, I did not know that. That's a fascinating thing. I'm learning along with you all. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, but past that though, the way that Brendo is able to essentially outplay all of the damage and so much of the CC that came their way is amazing, because you saw immediately in that engage, Blacker Flash almost died, right?
Mm-hmm.
That almost happened too, but he's to go ahead, live from the ace in the hole by use the Umbral Trespass there, right before all that, and then he shadow step to the wall, goes in the bush, gets the knock up and the Q back onto Shady Llama, along with the heal, so he lives because of Rost. Like this is, and that's 2 shutdowns as well coming his way. That was
Yeah,
sick.
I think that was roughly, gosh, 1.3k gold going into his pocket off of that.
Yeah.
Huge amount of gold. Um, so now Brenda, if you take a look, is he the richest player in this game? Yes, he is. By a slight margin, just 400 over Blacker Flash and Knight of Umber. But yeah, that's quite the statement when you consider that overall his team is roughly 5k down, and this might just be a punish for warding here.
Yeah. Yes, the close is
Ooh,
trying to
but
be
the
a
fight!
good competitive flash, but you see, I can't pause him on. Goes ahead, but he gets out. I saw a body block coming out from him, but Galio in the middle of the team fight going up against Steve, taught onto so many. And I said, Umber being able to stay alive through the entire fight is huge, though, as a dead Pismarizo guy. And that's a 3-4 nothing so far for PBS.
Yeah, and it was a very well done job when you consider the fact that the initial aggressors on that fight on both sides were Fairytail Guild initially looking for, I think, Blacker Flash, but then you had the Stand United from the Shen come in to keep the Galio alive. No, wait, no, it might have been onto Shady Llama. I did see the Galio also come through, actually. But then otherwise, there was also the bottom lane trying to start engaging and punish Yesticles for warding, but then can't use P4, gets taunted up by Mephisto, does end up locking him, or doesn't end up locking him down because the rest of his team is there to back him up, although they do get punished, losing 3 members for, as you said, none. And once again, Blackbacks, they are seeming to be just firing on all cylinders at the moment.
Yeah, they have honestly really set the pace of the game here so far, especially with Blacker Flash on the Galio, being able to stay in the middle of the team if I get a taunt onto so many, as Critical's clearly following the device, using the taunt first and then going in to be able to try to get more of these even trades against the Shenda. So good on by him. Good job, True Light.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, good, I guess, theoretical punish for Criticals there to land the taunt, or sorry, the mocking shout. But as you can see, I was going to say Criticals actually needs to start pathing towards the Dragon Pit because it's going to spawn, and he has Ignite, while Mephisto, you can see Stand United just coming off of cooldown right now, and the TP already being up, so he is more than happy to stay in that side lane, keep pushing, but Blacker Flash actually might end up getting ambushed and pinched here. But no, the rest of his team is there. They just don't see that Pismarizo and P4 are sitting in that bot lane river bush. But honestly, Blackbacks, they should just start up this dragon. They're very well positioned for it, and there's not really much that I think that Fairytail Guild can do here.
Brando as if he goes and gets the knockout, though, all down, but the backside, as I can't pause it for months, taken out by the Hecarim. That's a double kill for the Caitlyn coming in so far. But Critical's coming just a little bit too late. Alt down, to be able to stay alive, but it doesn't necessarily matter because he can't put out any damage. That's a triple kill for the Caitlyn. That's an ace for BVX.
Yeah, I mean, they tried so hard to surprise BBX right there by looking to assassinate Knight of Umber or looking to steal the dragon, but immediately when they show up, Shady Llama actually onslaughts of shadows into Criticals and Pismarizo guy, or at least in that direction. And meanwhile, Brendo and Pismarizo and can't use P4 aren't able to lock up the Caitlyn. They end up all falling. That's Cloud Soul, and off of the kills that they got, it gives them the ability to get this Baron here at 25 minutes in.
Yeah, immediately so. Like, consider they have Soul and Baron, and not only, it's not just any Soul too, as you said, True Light. It is the Cloud Soul on a Hecarim, nonetheless, who gets AD. Boy. Yeah, whose base ADS increases off of movement speed. So it's like, this is gonna look so good for them right now. And considering Shady Llama is 3-1-7, has a Triforce, and is building a bit more tankier. So he can now afford to do that because he's got Cloud Soul.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you think about Cloud Soul on, pretty much every other member of BVX, I actually don't think it's super great. Shen Stand United, there's a channel time associated, so you don't make a full use out of the movement speed. Same deal with Galio, Hero's entrance, because once again, a little bit of a channel time. Caitlyn, You root yourself in place while you're casting ultimate. So it's just wonderful for Hecarim, but wonderful in a huge way. But
Jay Lama goes in though, but it doesn't even matter because he gets a shut down.
punish.
Prismarizo guy, but yes, he goes in the middle of 4. Does he want to fight this? Yes, he does. As he brings a solo kill onto the Jhin, comes actually he's fighting up in the mid lane, comes up to the top as they're able to just fight Fairytail like at such a man disadvantage. It didn't even matter. It's a second ace for BVX. Oh my god, and they could easily end here, truly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit early in the game to look for an end, but they have those Baron up minions. They have the ability to look for it. I think the only thing that might be holding them back a little bit is that Knight of Umber was pushing in that top lane, although he's joined his teammates now. Closest death timer is P4 Can't Use It, who's now come up. Brendo and Critical soon to fall after, as well as Peace Mariso. So the rest of the team is here, but I don't think they can even be competitive in terms of fighting and combat.
And Caitlyn, though, they're going to fire completely up on the backside, just free firing. That's every other member, but just look at Blackerflash. He's just so strong. He's fighting up against so many people, and he's just smacking them down like it's WWE, though. And they get taken out of the ring. They are not allowed to go ahead and heal up. Askena gets a triple. Will not go ahead and get the quadra or the penta, but they will go ahead and get the first game. BBX, wow.
Yeah, just off of all of those advantages, like constantly fighting over and over and over again, it becomes this huge snowball effect for BVX. Like you saw there in the top lane, Mephisto having so many favorable trades, knowing how to play the matchup pretty darn well. Blackerflash also using Hero's Entrance really well, but also finding that solo kill in the mid lane. Knight of Umber as well as Yesticles did a very good job in addition to that in the 2v2. Now, granted, you did see that first blood go over to the side of the Fairytail Guild, but the punishes just started coming in off the back of those globals. In addition to that, made it so hard for Fairytail Guild to find advantages or find favorable spots.
Yeah, it's just honestly a huge shout out goes over to Blackerflash too, because considering he went ahead, used advantages to actually go more so into the side lane to snowball more of their lanes as well. And plus, we saw because of the excellent play by Shen, Tryndamere was not able to become relevant at all. So even if he went into the team fight, it did not matter. But this is only game 1 of 3 here, amigos. So do not go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on Stop Esports. Welcome back, and again, everybody, to Style Esports. I'm Raptor Gravis, joined by the one and only True Light. And we're in for game number 2 for the Fairytail Guild versus Black Vex. After a very strong showing in game number 1, Black Vex is going to go ahead and close out this series 2-0. But Fairytail also up on the up and up. We'll see if they can go ahead and make the even series and take it to game number 3 as True Light. What are you feeling after the previous game?
I mean, Black Vex, as you said, did have such a convincing win in that first game in this best of 3 here. And you can see already the Fairytail Guild adjusting their pick ban, and I like what I'm seeing so far. Right? Attack the globals by banning them away, ban the Shen so you don't have Stand United, that's 1, and then ban the other semi-global effect from the hero's entrance through the Galio, that's 2. So I like seeing those bans coming through from the Fairytail Guild, just adjusting, giving respect, so to speak. Otherwise, Black Vex, they ban Caitlyn away because they're on red side, they don't want to play against it. And they also banned Diana away, which I think they had last game, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, as you see, Diana too, and on the Blitzcrank as well, right there at the end, which honestly makes sense. They definitely don't want to go ahead and play against it. As we see though, like because BVX and whatnot switch sides well, because they know that more often than not, Fairytail is likely going to go ahead and pick the B1 Caitlyn if BVX don't, so they want to go ahead and just take it out of the meta. But considering what we have right now, like more often than not, there are really only a couple of ADCs that we see in the meta that are like tradable, as there's the Cho'Gath we were talking about last game.
Yeah, there's the Cho'Gath that they wanted to lock in last game, but they ended up going with TF instead. This time though, that's a flex pick you can rely on, definitely. Cho can go top, can go mid, or even jungle in some cases. And not just that, off the feast stacks, you start stacking up more and more health, which is more and more true damage for you, so I really don't mind it. But Black Vex, they respond with one of the things that can definitely annoy a Cho'Gath to hell, and that's a Vayne.
I haven't seen a Vayne in a very long time here, True Light. And I gotta say, considering the recent buffs and also like all the love that she's gotten, I honestly don't mind it at all. Because a Vayne that is ahead is a Vayne that is scary, and when with the Vayne Nautilus, so taken away, I should use yet again for BVX, not giving Fairytail the chance to go ahead and use it. So I'm excited to see what they use as a response to it, as I imagine we'll actually see the Leona yet again.
The Leona, right? Okay, I thought you said Yone for a second there. I was like, oh maybe.
No.
But anyway, so yeah, Fairytail Guild, they lock in Lux, which, once again, another flex pick. I think I see Lux in the support role more often nowadays than I see her in mid. But once again, flexible. I do like that from the Fairytail Guild. Although, with the Tryndamere lock-in, that's likely going to be for criticals, and thinking about his name, that actually might be his main.
I mean, honestly, I would understand it considering they went ahead and banned away the Shen. So criticals should have a much easier time up at the top side. I guess most of the champions, unless you pick another champ that is just as aggressive or offer just as much utility, which isn't very apparent though. So I would like to see the Camille, but it's the vulnerability actually which comes in for BVX, which could either be for the top or jungle.
Yeah, there's just so much flexing going on in this champ select, right? That Cho'Gath could still be jungle or could be mid. Lux theoretically can either be mid or support. So, Fairytail Guild, they're keeping that solid for themselves. With Black Vex though, they ban away in the second ban phase here, instantly banning the Ashe, which motivates me to believe that's definitely gonna be like something like a Vayne AD carry and not something super surprising like a Vayne top. Otherwise, like, we'll see how the rest of the bans shape up, and you can see their Fairytail Guild, they banned the Camille, like you said, so that is not an option that's going to be available for Black Vex. Ooh, the respect. I like it.
Yeah, nice. No, good job at BVX to go and take it with that Kate. It performed surprisingly well. Like, considering as a brand will be the final ban here for BVX2. So, for Fairytail. But Camille, like I was saying too, could have been one of the champions going actually dual tournament pretty evenly up the top side. So considering that's not there, like anybody really going into the tournament right now might have a tough time if you don't have just as much utility as he does, or really just enough or really enough ability to go and duel him. So like a Scion wouldn't be too bad of a pick either. Sion's quite tanky and he's just a solid overall like beefcake, which you can take topside and not have to worry about much. But it looks like it'll be to the Tristana going into the vein. I would have said like I would love to see Corki, honestly, because Corki was the classic counter to the vein, and I'm a big Corki fan. But the Tristana locked in for Fairy Tail. This is interesting, you truly.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana can be incredibly aggressive very early on with the bomb that she tosses onto enemy champions, and also it gives her pushing power as well. She recently got a buff that will allow her bomb's damage to scale not only with the additional auto attacks, but also with critical chance. And that's going to be a Jax lock-in. Wow. Which means that's a Cho'Gath hit.
Huh. So this might be the classic glitch Cho'Gath that I've actually seen in quite a fair amount of professional play, as it's the Malphite final lock-in. So it's the Volibear jungle, Malphite top, going in. No, Jax. Okay. Yeah, so Jax jungle, Tryndamere top, with Tristana and Lux bot and the Cho'Gath mid.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually think Malphite's a pretty reasonable pick into what the Fairy Tail Guild drafted. Not just because Tryndamere, Tristana, and Jax are all auto attackers and Malphite builds stacks armor. It's also because off of Ground Slam, Malphite's E, it's a cripple. It reduces attack speed, and I think when you stack it up, it's something almost like 40 plus attack speed slow. So you just go in with Unstoppable Force, you Ground Slam right afterwards. The enemy AD carries, or in this case, let's say Tryndamere or Jax, if they try to auto attack you, they're going to be a lot more harder pressed to do so, just because their attack speed has been reduced temporarily by that Ground Slam.
Okay, so that could definitely be like we saw a pick too. So within the Jax Malphite pick, and overall. Well, sorry, not even. Jackson's gonna go jungle though. Malphite v Tryndamere. Tryndamere wins early, very easily.
Oh yeah,
because Malphite has a ton of mana problems. As you can see, the dog outside yelling about it too. He's also thinking about all the mana problems that Malphite has. Like he just can't take it. But but it's once you go ahead and scale up and are able to get enough armor, like go ahead and get the Bramble Vest and the Sunfire, Malphite should be able to go ahead and sustain and lane, and also be able to trade fine if he maxes W. So that's one thing too, which many Malphites don't necessarily do. They usually go ahead and max E or Q in their lane. If you max W, not only are you able to go ahead and also proc grasp a lot easier, but your wave clear is a lot better. And it also doesn't cost as much mana as well. You also farm safely and farm a lot better under tower. Plus, when you duel, you put on way more damage.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're getting at there. Although I do think it's a little bit more typical for it to see the Emax or the Qmax for most fight players. But it's a really good argument you make. Otherwise, as you can see, it's definitely going to be Jax jungle. And wait, Lux is mid. That a Cho'Gath support? Is that what we might see? I'm not 100% certain. Although that does raise a very interesting point. Because let's assume that Peace Mariso guy does take the Cho'Gath. Once you have Feast available, that's just 1,000 damage smite, it's always going to be there. It's not like you have to level up more for it to do suddenly more damage to minions and monsters. So potentially, the Fairy Tail Guild want to keep that versatility in the bot lane, look to get the Feast on the dragon while they can have, Brendo in the top lane towards the Rift Herald or something like that. But wow, that's the Cho'Gath support. I was not expecting that at all.
It was a thought that I had in the back of my head. I was like, maybe this is what I think it is, but honestly, I immediately dismissed it. I thought, nah, there's no way they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that to us, would they? They would, and they are. So this
I mean-
composition that we're seeing out of Fairytail, this is fascinating.
I mean, as someone who loves off-meta supports, right? Myself, I've even tried doing Cho'Gath support 1 or 2 times. It is not as strong as you might think initially. Yes, Rupture is a really, really annoying ability if you land it. If you don't, you can get punished really, really hard by like every support in the book. It's almost like a hard commit, right? So, and I can see it. Between Cho'Gath and Tristana, you land Rupture, you instantly rocket jump forward, put your bomb on them, get the auto attacks off. Cho'Gath silences you so you can't flash away. And post 6, it's a really easy kill combo. I can see the possibility. If the Rupture misses, that combo doesn't happen. At all. Ever. So, it's fully reliant. This lane is fully reliant on Peace Mori Isogai.
Yeah, this is, you know what? The way I see it, this is gonna be such a fun one. Like, from what I see, I must have been told by chat that that Cho'Gath is a fantastic pick into the Malphite. So we'll see that perhaps debating us. Maybe it's gonna be a lane swap. Maybe Piss Razor guys still let's go ahead and go back to the mid lane and Lux, and it'll be Lux support. But we will find out as you load onto the Rift. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 between the Fairytail Guild and BVX. I'm Ravish Gravish, joined by the true Light. And I gotta say, after a very
Wait,
dominant BVX, the mystery has been solved, True Light. Oh, they're going choke at support.
it's Cho'Gath support, but it's not with Relic Shield. You can see there has a stealthy edge.
This is
Dude, get me off of Mr. 2020's wild ride. I can't take it anymore. This is amazing. Um, but
wow.
anyway, you can see here Black Vex, they are stacked up as the 5-man. I don't blame them for doing this. They have Nautilus. It's a very powerful invade. And they are stacked up here to stay outside of any sort of vision unless a member of Fairytail Guild were to walk out of that tribe rush. I think the question remains to be seen, though, if they are going to look for it and they're committing. Oh no, Peace Mariso is in a really bad spot. He's not going to see them until they're right on him.
I don't know if he sees it.
Oh
Yo,
no!
oh, he gets slowed in. Though, he's gonna go into tower. It takes a lot of damage. Tower shots and slowed up. First blood to Blacker Flash. Actually, I'm all for it. I support it.
Hey, I've seen this one before. You know, Blacker Flash getting fed. But anyway, so that is the use of Blacker Flash's exhaust, which I do not think is the end of the world because I don't think he even cares a whole ton about getting aggressive towards can't pause mom, pause it for mom, or pause it mom. Okay, can't pause it. Doesn't care about getting aggressive. Also, you know, there is a very defensive summoner on the Lux, which is the barrier. So totally okay with burning his exhaust there. It's going to come up in a couple of minutes anyway. Gets that early back, and a double Dorans in the lane. Going to be really hard to lane against that. But yeah, I am super surprised seeing what Peace Mariso guy went here as the support item on this support Cho'Gath. Feel like Relic Shield would be a lot better as opposed to this Fall Thieves Edge.
Yeah, honestly, it definitely could have been like a much more viable option, especially Chico goes tank. Like Cho'Gath scales incredibly well off of tank if you go ahead and go for the Knight's Vow. And then possibly, as we see, because Musica goes ahead and gets rooted up, jumps out, though it's fine. But Cho'Gath exhausted, one more hour, has to use the heal. Oh no! One power shot too many as his Marizo go ahead and get a kill. Well played.
Yeah, and that is just the hard punish with this Cho'Gath, right? Ruptured underneath himself, walked away, which meant Yesticles gets popped up in the air, eats tower aggro, 2 turret shots. Heal isn't even enough to keep him alive, and that means it's a kill into the pocket of Fairytail Guild bot lane. And in the top lane, yeah, there's that mana problem we were talking about.
Like immediately too, because you see, if it's still, he's using a Q more often than not to go ahead and trade early on, which you cannot do. Like Malphite only has about 400 mana. Each Q costs 60, and each Q costs 80 early on. And so, if you each Q 70, sorry.
Oh man!
As a whole, the shitty llama takes a huge amount of damage to the face. Brando goes and gets the Q, solo kills him in the jungle.
Yeah, just leap strikes forward, sees that Shady Llama is low on health, gets aggressive, and Fairytail Guild off to a lot better start this game than in their previous one. You can see, you know, very slight 300 gold lead, but Brando's up here in the top lane.
Immediately, my face that goes and it gets slowed up. The call gonna like take him low, but he will not die. But yeah, like Malphite early on, like all of his abilities, like as I was saying, like the Q is 70, W 30, E 50. It's like using all 3 of these in succession, you're almost down to a quarter of your mana immediately.
Yeah. I can definitely see what you're saying off of that. And you can see he did back off of that gank, you know, TP's immediately into the lane, has double cloth armor, starting to get tankier and tankier, which is going to be harder for criticals to deal with as the game goes on. But as you, like, one thing to slightly address the mana issue is, like you said, you could max W and have that lower cost ability available for yourself.
Yeah.
Or you could take Corrupting Potion and Biscuits and also have a ton of mana sustain off of those. Oh no!
That's what we call itemization in the game of League of Legends here at True Light. That if you know how to play, you'll pick what items right. As Brando's coming in, Peace Marizo goes ahead, gets Gets eaten away though by Knights of Umbar. Sky Splitter down. Show got slowed up, but they do not want to push any further.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is okay. So as much as we saw the power of Peace Mariso guy on the Cho'Gath support here, right, getting the rupture under the tower there, the weakness of Cho'Gath support, as I mentioned, is you miss rupture, you are not really much of a champion. At least as far as Shogun support is concerned. And immediately the rupture is missed. They don't really have a lot of combat power. There's no like hard follow-up available for either Peace Mariso on the Tristana or Brendo as he arrives with the leap strike. The reason I said oh no earlier in the mid lane here is because can't pause it, Mom. Try to throw a light binding out onto Blacker Flash, and then the Voidlings interrupted the binding. Two of them. Hero Voidlings.
That
Moment of silence for the
Voidlings. Apps to the chat for all the Voidlings who die because of Malzahar every single day.
Yeah. I mean, they're dedicated soldiers, man. Look at that.
They are. Yeah, exactly. There's blind soldiers falling where whatever's being corrupted. See, as Knights of Umbar, let's see half against. Just under half health. I guess it's just Ana. Mephisto's farming up quite fine though. Like the core, and he actually already has a Bama vest as well. So, like already a ton of armor and resistances against already against this. As I can't pause it. Mom slowed up, barrier down. Brendo here. And forces the flash out. Well done by Brendo, showing a lot of presence, more so in this game than the last one.
Ooh, wait, Brendo's still around? He's still going into the river bush? No. Okay, so in this situation, oh gosh, he's gone. Okay.
Yeah, he's just dead.
Yeah. Criticals, he just walks down, spins forward, flashes, gets the auto attacking knight, and now Shady Llama in a bit of a dangerous spot here as well. Oh no!
See, but when the rupture does land here, True Light, that means you are a champion. Help out as there's the double kill for Piz Marizo. Wow.
Wow, Fairytail Guild, they're the ones with the tempo in this game, and they're doing it real well. Just finding multiple kills now. Shady Llama once again caught out in the jungle, the rupture hitting onto Knights of Umber this time, and it does turn into a kill. So very good moves from the bot lane and the jungle from Fairytail Guild overall. But yeah, just to finish my thought, Blacker Flash was trying to get aggressive onto Can't Pause It because he had 6 available, did get the Malefic Visions onto the Lux, but then didn't have enough mana for Nether Grasp, so that was a huge issue. Oh no, Shady Llama, you're not in the right spot, buddy.
Oh, a little bit too far, so it's not gonna connect, and that is a. Oh my God, he actually gets.
Wait, flash forward from Mystical too.
That was so well done. I guess the reason guys might be dead here though, but
oh, the binding!
But the binding, and the silence doesn't connect either. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so Shady Llama once again out of position, goes forward, trying to get some vision down onto the dragon, I guess in hopes for looking for his steal, gets immediately punished as the dragon falls down, and they do completely eat him up. But then there is the follow-up aggression. Blacker Flash able to work with his jungler to take out Brendo, get the kill into his pocket, which is good for, you know, the Malzahar, good for Shady Llama. And then the flash forward aggressively from Yesicles goes in immediately. Knights of Umber right behind him as well. But the light binding stopped the fight from continuing, which meant that the play, you know, is still a net positive for the Fairytail Guild because it's ultimately a trade of 1-for-1, but they also got that first Drake out of it.
As you see, Criticals actually can't evenly trade with Mephisto anymore. See, right now here, if Mephisto chooses to go ahead and get aggressive, he'll be perfectly fine. As Lackofage is kind of getting pushed out of lane a little bit. Has to go for the double. He has a double door, but also has a lost chakra as well, so shouldn't be too down on mana. Critical's taking low, use the heal already. Mephisto is a level up. He could ult here and possibly kill him, but it would have to be a surefire kill since we see Undying Rage is still active. Is gonna walk away.
Oh man, Blacker Flash has some fancy feet dodging all these abilities out.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said there, Mephisto now with that Bramble Vest and the Bomby Cinder completed, able to have so much power in fighting criticals, and I'm sure it must be very frustrating for the Tryndamere. But hey, that's how it is. Bramble Vest just counters so many of these auto attack oriented champions, and when you consider that, Malphite is this champion that builds armor and gets more damage off of building armor,
Hmm.
and also becomes more unkillable against an auto attack champion like Tryndamere. It's just like this cumulative effect, and now criticals, he can't fight versus him, but he also can't really like leave lane in this situation. Oh,
Oh, that is a dead Lux. There's no way he gets out of it. A Blacker Flash will go ahead and take that kill. Nice pull in, depth charge out. Maybe on Tristana though, but they're focusing onto the Cho'Gath. He is knocked against the wall. That is a dead Cho. Yes, he goes ignited up. One more auto. Will he survive? Yes, he does. Oh, buddy, they can't close out the kill on the Tristana. But Shady
wait,
Llama down
Llama's
goes
here.
for,
So is Brendo.
they go for the turn, though he pops the Grandmasters, might smite it in, uses the dodge, but that might be a dead Vayne. Oh no, they cannot kill him before he kills a Vayne.
I feel like Yesticles either should have just fully channeled his TP, or at the very least should have been willing to throw out that dredge line immediately onto Brendo after he leap strikes forward,
Yeah.
just to keep Knight of Umber alive there. Unfortunately, neither of those happens, but I guess you get some turret plates out of it, so good job.
I mean, yeah, honestly, it is always a noble sacrifice to go ahead and give your life for the support. So, unfortunately, they didn't close that out because considered Knights of Rumble could have probably went ahead, got away with probably 2 kills in that, especially onto Brando too, which would have been my feeling as
This is a full AP Cho'Gath support. He has a lost chapter. Look at that.
okay. All right. You know what? Truly, have you ever encountered this before?
No, I'm the only other person that I know that has ever attempted to play Cho'Gath support, and I play it tank.
All right, so what do you think about your brother in arms here? What do you think about just about his divulgence from the fray?
This would be fantastic if you're ahead, but they're even, I think, in the bot lane here, so I'm not sure if it's a great idea.
Flash committed to, and the entire light binding and also the entire fun light hits, so that is a dead. That can flash by the bot side as well. His Marizo Black takes another hit to the face.
Mephisto TP'd down here. Look at that. I guess
Yeah.
because they want to hit the tower and then go straight to Dragon.
Yeah, honestly, that would be a pretty good call as we see that Trinity go ahead and start to get the Rip though, but we see that actually Malphite has the all to say he's gonna go in immediately on Tristana. That's a shutdown going on to Trist. They're gonna go and trade off tower shots. It's a dead.
He has too much armor.
Death Jax as well. Depth charge out and Lux. I'm not too sure what you're doing. Like that's just
that was not the right call.
That's
Can't Posit should not have walked down there. And now, that's going to give them a number of plates down here in the bottom lane. It all started off initially with the fact that they caught out Peace Mariso guy, because he is not able to survive a lot of damage on this Cho'Gath, right? You hit him once, and then he completely crumbles the moment the CC comes through. Just like this.
Just like that. That was it. All it took was 6 of those stacks and one dredge line in auto, and he was dead. Wow.
Yeah, and if you take a look here, Peace Mariso guy has had the feast available for a while now, but I don't think he's actually been starting to stack it up because he's trying to look for executes onto champions with it. You can still get 6 stacks off of minions though.
Yeah.
And honestly, getting those stacks is really, really important, especially if you're going to be playing a full glass cannon. You need to be able to survive, or at least stay alive long enough to get the burst off, and those minion stacks go a really long way to that.
Well, he does have 2 stacks though, your True Light. So
okay, yeah, I couldn't check while he was dead.
No worries. I totally understand there as you're seeing DVX of the timid late. I guess I have a pause from Mom, Brando smite down immediately, use the counter strike, exhausted up. Well done, and here's Shady Llama. Sky Splitter down, stun up, and that is a dead Jax.
Yeah, in spite of the fattest shield possible from Can't Posit for Mom there, Brendo does go down now 3, 4, and 2 on the Jax, and I gotta say, I just realized he has the Blood Racer. That's not quite the path that you typically see on a Jax jungle, mostly because, although Jax is a really auto attack oriented champion, I don't think he needs the attack speed from this jungle item. I actually think Warrior or Cinderhulk would be better, just because Warrior offers you flat AD and it also offers you CDR, and Cinderhulk offers you tankiness, which Jax can itemize towards, and I think he actually needs to. Bloodraiser is inefficient, to say the very least.
No, I would be honestly glad to agree with you. As Criticals goes ahead, takes a huge chunk of damage, and there's a W power that I was talking about. Look how he just gets pushed out of lane there. Love seeing that.
Oh,
As
God.
actually mid-side, I can't pause it for Mom is just dead. Man, a Shady Llama has not left alone this mid lane. Undying range out. The Mephisto will be dead. Ignite out. Oh my God, slowed up. That is close. Mephisto might still be able to win this actually.
Wait, but Criticals is stacking up his pass. Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say Criticals is stacking up his passive. He might want to try spinning back forward here, but now without the passive available because he used the Q to heal himself, I actually don't think he can stay under tower. Unless no, he's leaving. Good. Just leave.
Yeah, as he's going in, the Mephistos
don't
want to take.
Don't do it, Critical. No!
That's and Corrupting Pot just takes him down as Mephistos walks away. Yeah,
that was like what, a cannon minion, or a cannon minion and like 6 caster. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that was about a wave and a half there, which he was going into. Unfortunately, Critical is just underestimating his damage. And look at that, Pismoi's guy just uses Feast. He now has 4 stacks actually. Wow.
Nice. As you can see, starting to stack up on that health. The total value of health on this Cho'Gath though is only 1.4k. Not a whole ton, but I do think that's the most out of any. Oh, okay. Wait, let me double check here. He's actually Critical still has more base health, but I think that's off of levels more than anything else. But yeah, so Peace Mariso guy, you do starting to stack up towards getting the feast stacks available. He's going to cap out at 6, obviously, and at that point you need to start using that feast. But I would say don't be super concerned about trying to kill a champion with it, even though you do have this amount of AP. Instead, try to use it for objective control. Right? It does over 1,000 damage. That can enable you to grab a Rift Herald, to grab a Dragon, to grab, a Baron in some circumstances. And that's huge because those epic monsters, they don't count towards minion stacks. And that's really, really important to have for the Cho. But mid lane.
So I can't pause it for Mom is just dead, and Yesticles comes in with that kill secured from the backside. I like that. I respect it. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the credit in somehow. And no,
Brendo caught out a little bit, use the counter to get away, but he goes into a Malphite, and there's the charge.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, he did a pretty decent job trying to stay alive, right? He got condemned into the wall just as he landed after the leap strike. Otherwise, I do think this tower's gone in spite of Mephisto's best efforts here. Although he's very, very tanky, I'm not really sure if Critical's going to afford to fight against him.
He used the Undying Rage to be able to go ahead and get away, but he's not that fast.
Oh, Shard.
One more Q,
no.
that is it. Yep, that's a dead. Journey here, Mephisto yet again can maintain the lane dominance that he has over Criticals.
Yeah, and now Black Vex, they do get that second Drake. It is an Infernal map because it's the 3rd of the game. It's starting to stack up the AD and AAP, so to speak. And yeah, I think, despite the early game deficits they were finding themselves at, Black Vex is, very, very, very firmly in control of this game. As I don't think the combat power, once again, is really available on the side of the Fairytail guild. Brendo still trying to stack up towards, I think, getting a Black Cleaver by the looks of it in terms of the items. Criticals just completed Essence Reaver into Mephisto, who has, Sunfire Cape, Tabi, and Bramblevest, so there's not a whole ton of damage to be had there. And, Shady Llama has actually really come back from the deficit that he was put at off of the death.
She just gets stunned up, and I can't pause it, just gets kicked down by the Liphus division. Those are some dreams that are not pleasant for that Lux. As you see Mephisto along the side. Yeah, he has the unstoppable force. This could be huge, but they don't have minions with it.
Wait, but they still have Volibear ult available. They just need to walk this minion wave in, and they can dive it if they want to.
Oh, this could be the play here. Is also grouped up. I was waiting for it.
There it is.
Volley ult in, and there's the charge. There's the knockup. It doesn't get everybody though, but We're just seeing the criticals actually get stunned up, but the Undying Rage keeping him alive for so long. Yes,
Oh, the
Nicholas doesn't get
Bastards.
the anchor, but doesn't matter because the Tostado will still die, as Yesicles is just under tower taking free tower shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just like I think he definitely knows how solidly in the lead and in control his team is at this point, and that's what I was really afraid about for the Fairytale Guild there. Stormbringer being available means that Volibear's team can dive with impunity, and they have Malphite ulti and Dredgeline available too. So that's going to be a 10 out of 10 dive you take every single time, especially when you're the team that has the lead, you're the ones who want to be aggressive. There is really nothing that I think the Fairytale Guild could have done to dissuade that, to be honest.
No, not much at all, because you see there's just so much lockup, so much CC control, and considering just along with the Nethergrass too, Unstoppable Force, and also the Stormbringer, they're able to lock down the entire team for such a long time. And with Yeskos is coming in with the slows and the Dredge lines, Knight of Umbar has his free reign to auto attack whoever he wants.
Yeah, and you can see with the Night Hunter passive as well, he's able to completely chase down Peace Moriso, but he also has Storm Razor, right? Offers crit chance, attack speed, damage, and also vitally that 75% slow for half a second. And oh no, Brenda's been caught.
Yeah, Brando's just completely up in the wrong territory, up river without a paddle, one might say, as this is Baron for the side of BB's ass.
Yeah, I mean, Black Vex, they are going to be so strong here. You can already see that they're at 11.3k gold lead before this Baron falls. It falls now, and they're at almost a 13k gold lead at this point, 22 minutes into the game. It's so hard to play against a team that's this strong this early in this game, because I don't like, there is theoretical scaling, right, on Peace Moriso, but there's nothing to keep the fight going. There's nothing to keep the team alive in order for Tristana to scale up.
Yeah, there's just not much they can do. Tristana will obviously gradually go ahead and increase her range as things go on, but with the way we're seeing right now, it's like she's just not really allowed to be in these team fights with just how much utility Black Vex brings into it. Like, it's actually disgusting, as Brando's not even allowed to be in his own jungle. Oh my god.
That was just 3 auto attacks, plus, and like, sure, that's the silver bolts proccing, but oh my goodness,
bye. Oh my god, he lives, Grandmaster Mike. But
yeah, but now can't pause it does end up going down, and I don't really think they need to. Oh gosh, he does end up dying anyway.
No, and there's the kill onto Piz Marizo as well. Now they could go for Dragon here, or considering there are 3 people dead.
No, they can just end.
Fairytail, they can easily go ahead and end, as Undying Rage will keep the tournament alive for a couple more seconds, as that will go ahead and spell Doom is Gloom up in his room, suddenly and instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. And Black Vex, they were at a very slight deficit early on in this game, but they came back from it off of really solid punishes, but also just better moves overall. And some, like I said, some misplays on the side of the Fairytale Guild this time around, and that's going to mean they're going to take this series very convincingly.
Yeah, Shady Llama will actually go ahead and die right at the end, but Pesbrizo is dead, and so is everybody else, because Knights of Umbar so strong. 14 and 2, and BVX get the clean 2-0 in very convincing fashion.
Yeah, clean 2-0 is definitely one way of looking at it. Clean, convincing, and dominant in this win over the Fairytale Guild. And I think they did a number of things correctly. I would say if you are the Fairytale Guild, though, don't take it too hard. This is really early on in the season, for one. And then for 2, they were able to get those early game leads, right? Even in the first game, they found the ability to get first blood onto Knight of Umber. So I think the most important thing is just work on draft and create a solid game plan for what they want to get done going into matches with their comps.
Yeah, I definitely think draft is a key point you go ahead and bring up here, True Light. It's picking winning matchups can be absolutely one massive way where Fairytail would have been able to go ahead and get back into the game, because you see their early game was actually executed and done quite well. Brando, a very present and very good jungler, because he's consistently in his lanes trying to get his laners ahead, but because of the scaling on the other side, because of simply just how the draft was set up here, like BVX just completely take control, and after quite some time, Fairytail just cannot do much at all. So, although unfortunate, but definitely something to go ahead and keep in mind. With that being said, they're here, True Light. Where can they go ahead and find you?
They can find me at the True Light on Twitter, but there's underscores after every single word, including the last one. So
Okay. Well, hey, now we know 3 underscores with the True Light. You can also go ahead and find me at Ravish pretty much everywhere. But with that being said, thank you all for watching and have a wonderful night. Peace.